morning, everyone. I'm Ken T. Cook, current chair of the Macomb Agricultural Purchase of Development Rights Committee. And I wish to welcome everyone here for this coming event. And before we get to the signing, the main part, I want to share with you some of the history of how we got to this place. The PDR committee, which I'm going to go short for Purchase of Development Rights, was created by the townships of Armada, Bruce, Lenox, Ray, Richmond, and Washington Township around 2003. We would not be here today if it were not for the townships agreeing in 2003 to develop ordinances to allow for a purchase of development rights. To start out with, here to speak for Richmond Township Board is Supervisor Chris DeVos. Chris, here to say a few words.
Thank you, Ken. I look around here today and just think of all these people that just came out here to our township hall to help celebrate this event. This is amazing. Thank you all for coming. I didn't get to see a lot of the background work that went into this, but I want to give Vern Coleman and Kathy LaFontaine huge credit because they've done a lot of the running around, the paperwork, and especially for your patience. I mean, I think 2 years this has been going on, so congratulations on being patient. And congratulations to Vern and Teresa for carving the path in this program. I wish I could see a lot more farmers see this today and really think about all the different ways they could use this program and preserve the agricultural industry that we have here in our community. With that, thank you all and congrats.
Thanks, Chris. In the mid-1990s, this all started between Mark Walker and Jim Firstnall, raising the issue of farmland preservation with other local landowners and township officials. Some of these were officials way in the past: Fred Matarkowitz, Keith Ringer, Gordon Firstnall, Monica Joe, Charles Bone, Karen Ottenbacher, Bob Zelka, Abby Jacobson, and others. Now, the PDR program is not, and I repeat, not to stop development, but to help maintain an agricultural industry in the townships. From this group effort, if some of you are old enough to remember, Citizens for Quality Growth sprung up. They gathered support from across Macomb County to approach the County Board of Commissioners to address this issue. At that time, to help provide guidance, a young commissioner, Don Brown, joined the effort. Don, would you care to say a few words, please?
I'm still young, Ken. But it's been a long time coming. It's good to see so many people here, marking this important occasion of entering another piece of property into the program. As Ken mentioned, in the mid-90s, the economy was booming and Macomb County was growing fast. Macomb Township was the fastest growing township in the state. Many miles of farmland was the best farmland in the state, quite frankly, was being plowed under for development. And my district, being the northerly district, mostly rural, had most of the agriculture in it, was getting concerned about what do we do to manage the growth. So we started a group and we educated ourselves on land use planning, and then we went to the local units of government to educate them on the benefits of balanced growth, to benefit everyone, not only agriculture, to preserve agriculture, but to also preserve the quality of life that people out there like to enjoy with the semi-rural atmosphere. The state of Michigan also noticed what was going on around the state, and then Governor John Engler appointed a committee to help look at this and address this issue about growth crowding out Michigan's second biggest industry, agriculture. And through that committee, I was appointed to the committee along with former Farm Bureau President Wayne Wood at the direction of Dan Wyatt to develop the state's Purchase and Development Right program. And we toured other states in New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, to see what they were doing to promote land use and open space and farmland preservation. And from there we learned that the Purchase and Development Right program that we have now is a restriction, a permanent restriction on the land between the state and the landowner, voluntarily entered into by the landowner to preserve that land for agriculture for the future generations, as well as to receive in for exchange for that a cash payment. The agreement we eventually reached an agreement with all of the 6 northern townships, and our grassroots work group that had been formed had been morphed into the Macomb Purchase of Agricultural Rights Development Committee, which represents, as Ken just mentioned, all 6 townships: Armada, Bruce, Richmond, Washington, Ray, and Lennox Township. And the Macomb County Board of Commissioners joined that effort, providing a supporting role in providing technical assistance, led by our staff, Jeff Schroeder, who's still with us to this day, helping with the program, and Terry Gibb from MSU Extension, that is also supporting the program over these many years. The actions on the part of many to bring this program into fruition was recognized by SEMCOG and as well as the Metropolitan Affairs Coalition. In 2002, we were awarded an award for doing that, for being a Joint Public Service Award. And it was quite an honor to receive all those communities coming together on land use issues that dealt with that was quite remarkable at the time when it was leading. Our PDR program has actively participated in the state's Purchase and Development Right program ever since then. And since the inception, our PDR program has enrolled about roughly 413 acres into the program, with another 100 acres working its way through the program. And that's really an impressive start from where we started. Farmers and landowners see the value of the program because it protects their property for future generations who wish to continue in the business, and provides estate tax benefits, which also helps the next generation of their family farmers. The residents and communities that also benefit from the Farmland Preservation Program. The farming operations contribute obviously to the local economy. They enjoy pleasant open space views, as well as not having the high demand for government services that property does not require, and does not require the need for higher taxes to service the agricultural community. Serving local government for as long as I have in County Executive Mark Hackle, we understand that it takes a long time to create change sometimes. It takes time for it to grow and root. And we're very happy that the seeds we've planted have taken root. And today marks another piece of that growth by preserving agriculture for our entire county, but also improving the quality of life for everyone who lives here in the county. We're so glad to be part of this and to see this continue to grow. And this started under the old Board of Commissioners, but when the county executive took office, he understood clearly the benefit and value of that, and continues to support from the administration on this program to this day. And I'm so glad to have him as a partner, and all of us that continue to grow and educate others that may wish to enroll into this program and preserve agriculture, because it's definitely a necessary part for all of us as anybody living in this country, as well as help preserve the unique character which we all enjoy. So I'm so glad that you're all here today, and thank you, Ken, for sharing this and leading this way. You've been around this program a long time too. Many of us have been through this from the early days, and it's really proud to see what it's become. So thank you so much.
As mentioned before by Don, with his help, at the time we had access to the county's planning department director. At the time was Steve Castle. Along with, also on the county planning department, Don Mordini, John Paul Ria, and Jack Johns. Another major aid came from Macomb, Michigan State University Extension. Marilyn Rusinski, Hannah Stevens, and Terry Gibb helped in forming the intergovernmental agreement between the 6 townships. MSU Extension also worked with Maria Zardis from the Macomb Planning Department in securing a $15,000 grant for our first PDR purchase back in 2006, I believe. Now we have a county executive form of government. Back then, beforehand, we were dealing with over 20 county commissioners, and we did pretty well, I believe. We still have access to the planning director, Vicki Bolinski, and also Jeff Schroeder, who oversees our state PDR application. I wish to thank County Executive Mark Hackle providing the service and also financially that we receive from the county. And Mark, if you care to come say a few words.
I take a good look. It's the first time you ever see me outdressed by Ken DeCook. Holy cow, Ken, I look like you're going down to the south in Macomb County and I'm coming up to the north. Joe, I don't know what you're laughing about there. See, I still got you outdressed. You always will. I am sure. I'm impressed, my friend. I'm impressed. And, Don, I do want to thank you, obviously, for the kind words and, more importantly, for your commitment in starting this program. Don Brown, our chairman of the board of Macomb County. And you mentioned our entire team already who are standing in the back, so those of you that are interested in future opportunities here of conserving some of the farmlands here, please see those folks. They're more than adept at understanding how to deal with this. But again, the chairman here of the PDR committee, Ken DeCook, he is a forceful personality when it comes to making sure you already are laughing. Being the sheriff there was nothing. I mean, that was not an issue, being the sheriff. The day I became county executive, people would have thought my first problem was going to be dealing with mental health, dealing with roads, and all those other issues. No, it was dealing with Ken DeCook. farm preservation, and what's important with agriculture here in Macomb County. And I got to say, they've done a great job. But here today, we're actually here to celebrate. And again, the Colemans and what they've done. Vernon, Teresa, and the family, making sure and understanding the importance of farming. And they do. I mean, the history they have here in this community up in Richmond. And again, preserving their 119-acre parcel of land here under this PDR program is a huge commitment. And it's a commitment to making sure people understand the importance of agriculture and farming in Macomb County. And there is an importance if you think about it. If you look at the actual land here in Macomb County, 20% of the land here in Macomb County is farmland, agricultural. I mean, that's a huge amount of acreage. And it's almost 74,000 acres of land in Macomb County. That is a statement that I don't think many people really understand the significance of farming or agriculture here in Macomb County. And again, 404 farmlands are located here, active farms in Macomb County. I hesitate saying these things, but I actually have my staff do the discount double check on every one of these statistics, and I said that for this reason. This guy follows me after I'm done with the microphone, and he will correct me if it's 403, because one just kind of came off the market. He will make sure he lets me know. I'm pretty certain about every one of these statistics, and again, talking about the various varieties of crops that we have, but again, even the produce and the livestock. And I don't think people realize, even as a county nationally, when you think about it on a national level, we're one of the top 5% of the counties that actually does some of the producing of things for nursery, greenhouses, floriculture, and even sod. I mean, it is amazing with Macomb County how we stand on a national level, the significance and importance of agriculture. It was one of the things I brought up during my State of the County as one of the top 5 important things or industry sectors here in Macomb County. And so knowing that, it's a major contributor to employment too, not just farm workers working out on the farms, but we're talking about everything from food management, distribution, logistics, and again, it's projected that this will grow. Within probably the next 5 years, there's going to be about a 30% increase in jobs in and around that area. That's significant. And we know it's difficult now, trying to find workers for the various type of industry sectors that we have here in Macomb County. It's hard to find workers, but think about that. About a 30% increase in what we may be seeing happening here when it comes to agricultural. And it's going to be one of those challenges to try to get kids to realize there's opportunities there for jobs. So with that being said, we're very interested in making sure as a county we continue to provide for the agricultural industry. It's how we eat. Think about this pandemic that just came by. One of those top areas that people kept talking about, one of the areas that they wanted to make sure we were protecting and giving them a chance to continue working was agriculture, making sure there was food on people's tables. People were worried about it at that time. And I think we kind of forget about it because we're past that. But the importance of agriculture, I think, was highlighted during that particular period, specifically here in Macomb County. And we're also fortunate, many of us get a chance to go see some of the wineries, the agritourism that's going on in and around Macomb County. In fact, I just came from Hackett's Pies. I grabbed myself a coffee and a piece of pie on the way here, just to kind of grab something. But again, it's important to recognize the many aspects of what goes on with agriculture, agritourism in and around Macomb County. We recognize that, we're going to continue to recognize that, and continue to support that. obviously the Colemans, in particular Vern and Teresa, for your commitment to agriculture here. I want to continue to thank the township for their support and the other 5 townships here in Macomb County for their support of farming and agriculture, as well as our planning department. And Jeff, I want to highlight you, as they mentioned everyone here, because there's no question, even when I walked in this room and people talk about it, you are the person that has provided a tremendous amount of support and understanding and connections for folks here when it comes to agriculture. And I know Ken would probably attest to that as well. We know it started many, many years ago, but that planning department and the passion you guys have for what's going on here in Macomb County resonates and continues because of your efforts, and I want to thank you for that. And again, this is important because we want to make sure that we continue to ensure that we have farming here in Macomb County, and that it's always something that's going to be important, and that farming will continue to always have a home here in Macomb. So thank you very much, Ken, for your efforts and the work you're doing, and congratulations to the Colemans once again. And here we go.
Well, you started it, Mark, but when Mark first got elected county executive, I ran into him up at Westview for the 150th anniversary of the farm being in the family, and we got talking in that, and next thing you know, a few days later, I get a phone call. I don't know how you got my phone number, but he wanted to do some videotaping where my farm was. And I said, well, it's on 23. He goes, on 23 mile? Where the heck is there farmland on 23 mile? But he came out and he got some video going. He wanted to drive the tractor, and his first question when he got on the tractor was, where's the radio? And he got a little education on Mark, how many marketable ears of corn are on the corn stalk?
He did have an 8-track player in it.
Yep. So that's what our main part is, educating our friends, common Macomb County residents in the south on what goes on up here in the north. So to move on, another person I'd like to recognize, and he's here today, is a person that worked in the Michigan Department of Agriculture. He was immensely helpful in us forming our PDR program, and that is Rich Harlow in the back there by the clock. He spent countless hours helping us out, and one time we had a meeting at Great Township Hall, and he came in, and we were talking in that, and there was this nice, attractive lady sitting in the back, and we were asking ourselves, who is she? Well, come to find out, it was Rich's wife, who they just got married a week earlier. He took time from his honeymoon and had to come down and work, help us out. Rich, we greatly appreciate it. Also at the state level, the PDR program at the state level runs off of funds from PA 116. Also, the staff that runs that PA 116 program and the PDR program are paid from funds that come in when PA 116 property owners get out. It's an unstable, at the time, unstable financial funding. It can vary year to year. Sometimes the staff has to be going down. But to help temporarily stabilize it, former state representative Andrea LaFontaine introduced Bill 4666 that became PA Act, Public Act 79 of 2011 to help somewhat stabilize it, to bring some funds in. And Andrea, we're grateful at that time. And it was her first bill that got passed. A few years later, at the time, State Representative Dan Lowers, who is now State Senator Dan Lowers, introduced House Bills 5189 and 5191 to become Public Act 265 and 267 in 2016. That was help stabilize funding source for the staff and help run things smoothly, and he worked closely with Rich Harlow on that. So, Senator Lowers, would you care to make a few comments?
I was joking with Ken beforehand.
asked me to speak, I said, well, I'm not worried about it. Mark's going to cover everything. But shit, man, you really, he gave us the history lesson, so I appreciate that. It's great to be here and recognize your family, and really the county of Macomb for being such an innovator on this program. It's special for me because I'm a farm kid, agriculturalist, still farming, and driving to Lansing 3 days a week, and dealing with these issues every day. My grandfather's dairy was in Grosse Pointe Park. Then from there they moved to Capac and started Lauer's Dairy there. So this thing's been going on a long time. My brother's father-in-law is a vegetable farmer, retired now. He's on Dryden Road. That's the third farm north of Detroit that he's lived in. So I got to commend Macomb County and everyone that has worked so hard to be the true innovators on this program and show that there are ways to preserve the agricultural. Look at the crest, if you will, or the symbol of Richmond Township. I mean, it's a part of your heritage. It's been a part of Macomb County for a long time, and I'm glad to see that you've proved that there's a way to do this. And I'm always happy and ready to help you in any way I can see this success repeated elsewhere, hopefully. In fact, I might catch some of that staff. I got my farm P116. I don't think I've got a refund yet. Have to talk to them. But thank you again. Thanks to Collins for being open-minded enough to consider such a thing and actually going through with it. All hard work went into that. We have a presentation that, you want to do that now or you want to do that later?
Do it now.
Okay. Go ahead, tell them about Jamie.
Yes. Good morning, I'm Jeff Yark. I'm the former state representative for this area. I've always appreciated the importance of agriculture in the district. And now I serve as legislative director for newly elected Representative Jamie Green. She couldn't be here today, so she sent me her in her stay to make sure we communicate how important that she understands agriculture is. And my district that used to have the northern part of Macomb County, her district is moving north and even more agriculture. So this is really a top priority for her office. So we want to present this tribute in honor and recognition. Mr. Coleman wanted to come up. This is signed by Jamie Green, State Representative in 65th, and Senator Lauers, recognizing and congratulating you.
Thank you, Jeff, for those kind of raising hands. Just to go back a little bit, we had a new guest just come in, Marilyn Brzezinski, who was in the main front with us when we started this issue. And she spent quite a few hours in meetings talking and communicating with us and helping us get some staff and information and guidance from MSU Extension. So this wasn't a one-person show, this was a multi-persons from all the townships, different segments of the state and local and county governments to accomplish this. I believe we've got almost everything. Is there, before we get to the main signing, is there any comments people in the public care to make about what's going on today? If not, Vern, Teresa, would you care to make any statement?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody for showing up. Really appreciate the support and everything. Can't underline, like Ken was saying earlier, how much help we've had on this from the very start. My whole thing started with this back in 2000. I was out in the pen one day bedding cows down with my brother, and Phyllis Firstnall come over to the farm. She actually come right out to the farm and talked to me and wanted me to go on a trip out east on farmland preservation, and wanted to know if I would be interested in going. I think Jim was working on that time on those trips, and I went on that trip and was impressed with what they were doing, kind of got the ball rolling, got involved in some township issues, and then all of you that remember Fred, I got to be pretty good friends with Fred, because Fred was really into this program and was pushing for it. Then Fred passed away, and the board come to me and wanted me to take over his position on the board. And ever since then, I've been either on the board, I've been elected once, appointed once, and kicked off once. It's been back and forth. But ever since then, I really got to know a lot of good people through all this process. And like Ken was saying, if it wasn't for the State Department with Rich Harlow, with Marilyn Rosinski, I can't believe how much information, how much knowledge that lady had on doing an intergovernmental agreement and what it took to do that. And it just kept on going. And the people that took over then Terry Gibbs took over from MSU Extension, and then we planning and economic development. We had several different people that come in, and lately it's been Jeff Schroeder, who you can't believe. I don't know if any of you are, a lot of you probably are aware, but what it takes to write a grant for anything. I don't care what it's for. If you don't have somebody like that department helping, I think, throughout the whole thing, the planning and economic development, if it wasn't for them, we would not have been able to write a grant. So we really appreciate all that. And for all the other people, there's quite a few people that are on the PDR committee now that weren't on it back then, but are still very active and supportive. Joe Jacena from Abby Jacobson, Terry Gibbs, Jonathan Yake. These are people that are on the committee now that are here today that are just, guys that have been on it in the past. Bob Zolka was been on it before. It's just enormous amount of support, and a lot of people are contributing to this day. So just thank you all.
Well, thanks, Vern and Teresa, for your nice words. And now we come for the painting. Once we get done with the signing, please, you're welcome to stay. I see the township has some refreshments, and we get to talk and socialize. So, that company and Vern and Teresa, you want to come and give us your... Thank you.